From tiny beginnings in 1960 to oil-rich peaks and the heavy weight of sanctions, this is the story of Iran's GDP, a roller coaster that reflects politics, resources, war, and resilience. Back in 1960, Iran's GDP was just about $4.2 billion, barely a blip on a global economy. But the discovery and export of oil changed everything. Fueled by black gold, Iran's GDP started climbing rapidly through the 1960s and into the 1970s, transforming the nation from a largely agrarian society into an emerging industrial economy. By the early 1970s, thanks to soaring oil revenues, GDP growth was dramatic. Exports funded infrastructure, industry, and modernization. But this growth wasn't just economics, it was social transformation. Iran was on track to rival mid-level global economies. Show rising bars on screen, pointing to annual increase. Then, 1979 changed everything. The Islamic Revolution disrupted the economy, and GDP dropped sharply. The upheaval was followed by the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, one of the most destructive conflicts in the region. GDP fluctuated as war spending ate into national resources, and reconstruction costs soared. Dramatic visuals of war overlay chart dips. Post-war recovery was slow. In the 1990s and 2000s, sanctions, especially after the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear deal, tightened around Iran's oil industry and financial system. Growth stagnated, and despite occasional upticks, GDP struggled to reach sustained momentum. By 2012, Iran hit an all-time high of around $644 billion, but sanctions and currency volatility soon pulled it back down. Fast forward to the 2020s, despite sanctions, a global pandemic, and inflationary pressure, Iran's GDP has shown modest growth. In 2024, GDP sits at roughly $436 billion, marking recovery but also underscoring lingering economic pain. Per capita figures tell a similar story. While still modest by global standards, Iranian GDP per person has slowly climbed, indicating a population adapting and surviving amid constraints. What can this arc teach us? Iran's economy is a case study in resource dependence, geopolitical risk, and adaptive resilience, where oil wealth opened doors, but political shocks and sanctions kept those doors only partially ajar. As we look ahead, Iran's economic trajectory will hinge on diplomacy, domestic reform, and how it navigates global markets. One thing is clear, its GDP history is more than numbers. It's a narrative of ambition, conflict, constraint, and survival. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep data stories from around the world.